All right, we're going to start out talking about multiplying fractions today. There are some vocabulary words that are important to you as you go through this lesson. So the first vocabulary word is model. This is an action. It means to make a picture of a math expression. So we are going to model some math concepts today. Another word is part. A part is a piece of something. We also use the word part to describe a fraction. And simplify means to work down to the smallest number. And you should be familiar with simplifying because you have done that previously. So when we talk about multiplying fractions, it's about taking part of something, because each fraction itself is a part of something, and multiplying it by part of another. When we actually multiply a fraction by a fraction, we are taking a part of a part. So it's important to understand that there are a couple of different strategies. The first strategy is by using the model of a bar graph. So let's say that we had 2/3 times 1/2. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw a model of 2/3. We're going to draw a model of 2/3. So here's my whole, and I am dividing my whole into thirds. Once I do that, I'm going to color 2/3 of my model. This is 1/3, and this is 2/3. Remember that it is important to assume that our models or our wholes are the same size. So now we get to look at 1/2. We're going to take the same whole number, our same whole piece, and we're going to divide it in half the other direction. So this one we divided horizontally. Now we're going to divide vertically. And we are going to color in 1/2 of our fraction, 1/2 of our whole. When we do this, we see that there is a certain portion of the fraction where we have covered the fraction with both the third and with the half. That's this portion right here. I'm definitely on the verge of needing a new purple marker. So this corner right here has been covered both by the green and by the yellow. So when we look at that, it's the same whole, but we've made a totally different number of pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces out of 6, that would be the whole. But we actually have 1, 2 pieces that have been colored in by both colors. When we multiply 2/3 by 1/2, we get 2/6. Now, we can simplify that. You guys know that the way that we simplify that is we look for the greatest common factor between 2 and 6. For us, that's going to be 2 because we can divide 6 by 2 and we can divide 2 by 2. So we can divide here and divide here. 2/6 divided by 2/2 is going to be 1/4. third. 1/3 is what is colored. 1/3 of the fraction is what is colored in this specific instance. Now, an easy way to do this with numbers and to get the algorithm is to go ahead and multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then simplify the answer. So modeling was strategy number 1. And the algorithm is strategy number 2. And so we are going to now talk about what does it look like to multiply fractions by fractions using just the numbers. So let's look at 2/3 times 1/2. Now I told you before, step 1 is going to be to multiply numerator by numerator and denominator times denominator. Okay, so the n is equal to numerator, the d equals the denominator. And then step 2 is to simplify. If we do that, here's our numerators and our numerators, our denominators and our denominators. So it's 2 times 1 over 3 times 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. To simplify, we're going to use the same method that we used previously. We find the greatest common factor between 2 and 6. I know that if I count by 2s, I'm going to get to 6, and that there's nothing I can divide 2 by other than 2. Divide by 2 halves, and that's going to equal 1/3. So again, multiplying to find the product is super easy. The simplifying is probably going to be harder for you than the actual multiplication itself. So let's go ahead and look at one more example. Let's do 1/4 times 2/3. 1/4 times 2/3. When we multiply 1 times 2, we get 2, and 4 times 3 is 12. 2/12 is the product of 1/4 and 2/3. The answer can be simplified by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by the GCF of 2. So we're going to divide our numerator and our denominator by 2 to get an equivalent fraction. 2 divided by 2 equals 1, and 12 divided by 2 equals 6. I know that I walked through this lesson pretty quickly, but it is fairly simple. If you get to the lesson and you are unsure of what to do, please come and see me, and I will be more than happy to help you.